You at?
You gonna hear me?
And we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations. We got our coffee. Yeah, I'm from New York. Coffee. I'm always getting teased with that core. Yeah, coffee. Good morning, guys. Welcome to another edition of Coffee and Conversations with yours truly, Nakia Gristin and the Apostle Precious Paulin. She is coming. She is just freshening up, putting some on her lips, I believe. Okay. So, yeah. So she is coming in a second. We just got our coffee finished, and I am taking a sip because I don't know where y'all tuning in from, but we are here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's a little nippy outside, to say the least. This weather is going from 50s to 70s to the 80s to the 60s. It's all over the place. But
it's like the clothes these days.
I don't know whether to put my sweaters up or take them down. I'm like, wait a minute. I can't do the season change yet. Wait, I need the hoodie on. Y'all see I'm closed up to the neck, honey.
We got the heat pumping. Let me bring this closer.
I can't have my neck cold.
How's that like?
The neck and the feet.
Whose world is this? The world is mine.
So, yes, good morning, guys. Oh, it's about time for me to almost get my hair done. I can feel it. My head is itching.
Now, almost get my hair done.
When my hair start itching, I know
it's that time.
Almost 2 weeks. Yeah.
Woo. Good morning, you guys. Oh, yeah, okay, that's it. There we go. I think the lighting is good enough. There we go.
Lay it up, ain't it?
You looking laid up?
I'm looking laid up.
You got a turtleneck and everything.
I know. Look.
Good morning to you guys. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Good morning to you. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations, where we wake up and make today count, where it's all about us getting things that are on our mind, off our mind, questions, comments, suggestions, opinions, perspectives, all because we got the privilege of waking up this morning. And in order to make it count, we got to add it up, right? And so right now, making it count is about doing the math.
And giving your perspective.
Because
we are blessed to have life every day. We wake up. So, of course, there's things going on in the world, and we need to talk about it. No need to keep it inside. No, we're not doing that. We're having real, transparent conversation.
Yeah.
Coffee and conversation, that is.
And before we get to our topic, Melissa had called me yesterday, and we was talking about, the kids. The new school shooting, the latest school shooting that happened on what, Monday?
Oh.
Was it Monday? Or was it?
Oh, and
it was Monday, right?
Louis, where it was? Texas?
Was it in Texas?
Where was it? I seen it on TV.
So, you can't keep up.
I know.
You just can't keep up with what's going on these days. But what was the getting later? Well, it's 8 week. You know what? Our time is 8:45 to 9:45. It's been established. That's just where we end up at.
Yeah, we in the middle. Meet me in
Nashville. It was in Nashville.
Thank you, Nashville. Yeah, I can't keep up either.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I was looking at a thing, I believe, just the other day, and it was 3 9-year-olds passed. 2 women that I believe one was 60, one was 61, and then there was a gentleman that was 60. So 6 people, lost their life. You know what I mean? At a school shooting
3 kids
again.
And 3 adults, huh?
Right. And it turns out this time it was a girl. Right. A girl did the
It was a girl?
Mm-hmm. It was a girl.
Wow.
There was actually, I was looking at one of her friends, I guess, that she, sent a message to stating that she would be committing suicide today, like that she would be dying today or whatever. She sent her friend an early morning text and was like, watch the news and you'll see and da-da-da. So I saw a little bit of pieces of that. And then Melissa calls me yesterday and was saying that her and Nate was talking about it. And, you know, he made a comment that, you know, do you think that, you know, kids are so amazing and kids are so special, and for people to be taking the lives of kids, do you think it is an attack against God? And I was like, that's interesting perspective. He said, you know, attack against God, you know, imagining, you know, God is always, the kids, you know, are the future, and he provide for them, and it's always like take care of the lambs, and, you know, he takes care of fools and babies, and, you know, and so, you know, kids are the core. And, you know, and I was like, I don't know that people are so intentionally like going against like, oh, this is to hurt God's feelings. Cause I don't even know that people who are in that state of mind really are in a relationship with God per se to that degree. You know what I mean? It's clearly a love-hate relationship. But what I really think it is just light versus dark, but really the perspective of
mental
kids
illness?
are outside of mental illness, right? Because we always talk about the victims,
what's the cause of it?
But we talk about the tree, but we never deal with the roots, right? And mental health is just one big word they use for trauma.
The whole,
you know, we just call it all mental health, and it's just trauma is where people are stuck at, right? And so when you even think about the kids are the future. So to attack the kids will to attack what change can come about, because it's over for us, right? The world relies on the future generation, right? And so how they grow up, their mindsets, their mental health dictates the quality and condition of world will be in the next 50 to 100 years, right? And so when you think about it, it's like it's light versus dark, because you are attacking the precious Jews of the world, right? And then again, it's like, then when you go with the person who did it, now you're asking, you know, like how many times were they overlooked? Right? What was their motive in making such a grand suggestion, being so broad about it? A grand act is definitely a feeling of lack and unworthiness that lies or dwells in the person who commits the act, right? And so I think that it could be so even going back to what Nate's saying, attack on God, like if you feel like you're upset with God and you just go out and show him that you have more power or whatever it is that you're doing, it's like, or life ain't work out for you and you don't want it to work out for somebody else, right? Because that jealousy thing comes in and you're like, if I can't have it, nobody can. If my life, and then nowadays everybody wants to go out, right? Because we talk about it and we speak about it and we highlight it, and everybody, it brings attention to the negativity, right? It draws us in. And so now I'm speaking about somebody that I had no clue about just the other day. And so we always give them the wrong attention, which would drive other people to still commit the same crimes, because I got to be validated or seen for something. And so I'm going to take you out. I'm going to take me out. Like, it's just the condition of the darkness that occupies the world right now is just so overwhelming.
And you know what's so crazy to me? What I think about is, you know how people is like wanting to blame God or be so mad at God. But we have to understand that God is not about bad things happening, right? God is love. God is about
choices,
good things. And he gives each human being, each person, choice. So when people be like, I'm mad at God when something negative happens to me, it's like, come on now. God is not about negative. So you blaming God because how could God let this happen? God ain't let nothing happen. It's not like you think, oh, like the president of the United States, he has so much control. No, he doesn't. There's a vote of many people and he could veto, but yet you think the president got so much control when he really doesn't. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about God, I'm so mad at God. Come on now. It's like we always look into blame somebody because everybody has choices. And unfortunately, so it's so unfortunate that when humans make choices that they have, everyone is not going to make the best or the good choice. And that's why
that part.
Bad things happen. And it has nothing to do with God making it happen. God is not going to not make it happen, or it will make it happen, because it's all about choice. And people get caught up in the choice of other individuals, and that the world can't be perfect. If the world could be perfect, then it would be perfect. But that's not how the world operates. That's why everybody has choice. So it's just, I mean, I guess that's one of the things people be like, oh God, how could you let this happen? No, God ain't letting nothing happen. It's what's happening based off of everybody's choices that's going on, you know. So I hate to hear that when people be like, I'm so mad at God. What did God do? He gave everybody choices, and these are the results of the choices that they made. Like, you know, I know we just be looking for something, but it's like, oh Lord, why? And it's just like something to say. So it just cringes me when I hear people say that, personally. It's just, why are we blaming God for everything?
Yeah.
Did he blame the president for everything?
Yeah.
You only have so much. I can't control everything for you. That's not who I am as a God. God doesn't control. He's not a controlling God. He gives you free will, free this, free choice. And this is what happens when you have the free choice. These are the repercussions of the decisions that are being made from the free choices. So it has nothing to do with God. God ain't making nobody die. God ain't say, but if, you know, like Final Destination, it takes a moment or a second for you to have stepped back and you wouldn't have got hit by the train. It's split things that happen.
Split decisions,
and it's like, God, how could you let that? What? God is not a negative God. God is not a bad. So stop blaming God for the bad stuff. We all hallelujah when it's good. Yes, Lord, he made a way. We in church, and now it's always good. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
because it's a misunderstanding of God. That's why I'm teaching in What the F is Your Mustard Seed is about having a God peace, right? That God is so powerful that he couldn't give all of him to one of us, so he gave a piece of him to each of us. And when we talk about that, we're talking about your faith, right? And so, many of us blame God, right? There can be downfalls of your relationship, and now you're mad because it's like life just doesn't work my way. But it goes back to the point where even biblically, all through the Bible and all in the times, right? He never came down and fixed anything. Why? Because he gave you the power to choose to let go of that pain so that it could become your power, to choose to not live in a state of discourse, to choose to remove the shame and get in your lane, to choose to get up 1,000,000 times if that's what it requires for you to keep on going. You have the power, right? And so the most special thing that deciphers us as people from every other plant and animal in the world is your ability to make a choice. The choice to be and do and go wherever it is you choose to go within your capability, right? So you still have to create the moments for the moments to happen, because faith is freedom after insight to higher self. That means I'm getting in action for my attraction. That means I'm doing the work. If somebody is hiring you, there is a job that has to be done. There is work that has to be done to higher self, emotionally, spiritually. All of these different things require you to get over the things that you cannot change by understanding that it is the thing that empowers you into your greatness, right? And so again, I say it's so hard when we look at these stories and these situations, because we want to make sense of it, right? And what I was even telling Melissa yesterday was that what I realized, it just doesn't make sense, right? Because the sense is you adding up the change. And if you don't go through the process and pick up those broken pieces in order to add up the change, it will never make sense. And I can never go into the mind of somebody else who is going through, because, as I said, there were people who deal with depression and they, you know, maybe go see a counselor. Maybe they deal with depression and they have a best friend that they can speak to all the time. Maybe they have their way of allowing the dis-ease to come out, right? So it's not sitting inside of them. But then you have people who don't deal at all, right? You have people who decide this is too much for me, and suicide is so high, right? And so that's why I said we can never compare mindsets, because everybody doesn't react the same way when things happen to them, right? Everybody reacts different. Like I can take a few of us, even in my household, that got abused, molested, right? And everybody's reaction to it totally different. Totally different. How they respond, what they allow, what's acceptable, you know, how they see themselves, totally different. And that's why I'm saying that there is not a one size fit all, because everybody's one of a kind. And so to try to figure out what makes somebody think like that is to reverse engineer their life, which is what the topic is all about. Does your book cover match your content? Because it appears to be that everybody's fine, but when you go in and read the story, you find out that they really just have makeup on their soul.
Dig a little deeper.
Right? And so many of us put makeup on, right? Many people put on makeup to cover up blemishes, to make themselves feel perfected. All of these new reasons why makeup is just like is a $1 billion industry, right? That just goes to show how far people will go to appear to be perfect. So what about the makeup that we put on our soul, right? Because the people that knew, always the people that knew the person that did it, it's like, well, what was they going to? Who missed the hug? Who missed the you're gonna be all right? Who missed the testimony to give, right? Because God said everything you need has already been in the room. So when you were seeing somebody who looked familiar, did you step in and expose yourself? Because your picture was actually where it belonged in order for them to develop into something just as grand. See, and that's the issue. The issue is not when they fall off the horses. When you see them riding, can you look and do you stop? Yes, and like we said, to smell the roses. Can you actually look into somebody's eyes? Their eyes will tell you just how far they are away, right? And
from
so
reality.
Right. And so the people that you love, that's why I said if everybody took care of their own community, there would be nothing left to do. And your community is the people who are within alignment with you, the people that God allows y'all to be in the same room. And so you ask yourself, how many people are we missing that are going through things that these are the aftermath, right? Because people are shocked when you go in and somebody took their own life. What could be that strong? Right. That's what everybody's thinking from the other perspective. And it's like, right, because it was like, it's no big deal. I've been through that. How many times we say that? Oh, that happened to me, but you're not me, right?
We two different
and so
people.
Because we're different, we do deal with it different. And our endurance, our muscle is different. And so we see that we living in a time with the darkness is, and it appears to be where people are lit, but really they're crying inside and they're suffering. And that's why emotional health is everything. Because you want to give your family financial stability. You want to give your family physical stability so that you can actually enjoy and go on. But the most important thing you're doing is the mental stability. Because being emotionally intact allows you to process as a unit. It allows you to see outside of yourself. It allows you to not be personal. Not take it personal, but take it process, right? And so that emotional part is the thing that we lack to deal with, right? Because the emotions is where our behaviors come out of, right? So how I feel emotionally is how I'm going to behave in day to day. So if you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. If I feel like I'm not seen, I'm going to make sure you see me on a broad scale, right? These are all emotional breakdowns, right?
I'm doing things to seek attention. Yes. Because you're not seeing me, so I got to make you see me. Somebody going to see me. Or you fall into this dark hole in this shell, and now it's like, what's going on with that person? Oh, now you notice me? So it's the different spectrums of it, you know what I mean? Which could be very dangerous because, People are definitely on these social media streets, especially.
Yeah.
It's not what it is. You know, you want the illusion of all of this. You're doing all of this. You're making all this money and all of that. And people are falling for it. And it's just like, you get into things and it's like, child, where the money? I ain't making no money. But, you know, it's the work. You got to put in work. Money don't fall out the sky. You got to get it from people. And people get the money. So you got to figure out a way to get it from them. So it ain't just going to be handed to you. And, you know, money pays bills. So it's a exchange. And unfortunately, you know, people are making it appear to seem so easy. And if it was so easy, then everybody would be good and there would be no homeless. And I mean, but hey, everybody's different, right? So it's just, when things seem so easy, don't believe it. Don't believe it. I mean, but who are you? You just got to know you and your endurance and what you can do, what you can't do, and just get around people that'll open up your mind and your horizons. But you just got to know you and push and test your limits a little bit out of comfortability.
Yeah, absolutely.
To a certain degree with nothing crazy, nothing too outlandish and crazy within your capability.
I'm almost finished. I'm gonna do my little sharing so that I could be at least got that out today.
It's like,
but when you think about it, it is like how many people create, especially with the world we in now, right? The internet, right? And so we have this picture, right? And you have the cover, and you know they used to say, "Don't judge a book by its cover," right? And that was before when you look like your story. When we didn't have all of these different ways to fluff up our reality, right? And so you wanted to remind them that just because it looks this way doesn't mean that it is this way, but it also works on both sides, especially looking into the world we are in right now, right? Because people will get a false reality of other people's lives now, right? And become even more envious. You know, these are part of the 7 deadly sins, right? That envy, that gluttony, that all the vanity, right? All of those are deadly sins, right? The things that pull away from our core and the thing that makes us special, right? And so when you even think about judging a book by its cover and asking what is the content, it's like, okay, how afraid are we to speak our truths, right? How often do we have hashtag goals and you got people who in relationships who matching, and then when you're in the life, the people who know them, you're like, that ain't even true. They don't even like each other like that, right? And so you already get the sense of false reality. We can look at even our kids watching the rappers and with the cars and the houses and everything's rented though, but everything's rented.
You right.
Everything's rented, and you're so impressed by what they have, but it's an illusion.
It ain't their house. It's not one of their assets. Like, it's not theirs. They're renting it for an hour or two.
Yeah.
That's not even, you think they making money. They ain't making no money. They sitting on a propped up plane that's a prop, like a movie prop. Y'all know when we in the movies, we in the movie scene. And this airplane is a prop that I'm sitting at looking like I'm looking out of a window. But you thinking we taking flights? We here, we there. Child, boo.
Let me tell you, technology is a beast right now. Good morning, Arthur L.
Good morning, lady.
Technology is a beast right now, and it will have you in your feelings. Watching other people. That's why I say
judging
comparison is the thief to gratefulness. If I'm looking at what you got, and I don't even know what you did, but I'm jealous of you, of what it is that appears to be so, that stops me from actually getting the right information, right? Because jealousy takes the humbleness out of you, right? Because you can go to anybody that you have access to, access, mind you, and ask a question. That's why when we're watching before there was just all idols, right? And you call them false idols because you don't really know them. Some people say, oh, the worst thing that ever happened to me was that I met my idol, because this whole illusion that you had in your head, when you met them, you realize, ooh, I don't even really like them like that. Why? Because it was a false identity, right? It was an expectation. It was an illusion on what you saw that they had, not who they really was.
Once you dig a little deeper,
you'll find out.
You will see the real.
How many people be acting like they together, but they don't? How many people get in a relationship and act like, oh yeah, I trust you, but you already think about your last relationship, and so you already snooping and creeping and looking, right? Because that's not real. So the book by its cover, when you look put together, but you're really not. When you look like you are content, but you're really not. So that part of it is like why we can't get the help we need right now, because everybody is pretending to be better than they are, pretending to be more of who they want to be instead of who they are. They're
already at the end result. They're living in what they want, promise. But they living in the promise. They giving you the promise, but they're still in the steps to the promise.
Yes.
But they're giving you the end result of, they're living in the end result, mentally imagining to say, I can't wait till it be like this. This is what it's going to be. But they don't show you the reality right now to get to that finished look.
Yeah.
They giving you the finished look, but they're still processing to get to the finished look. So it's really like, if we could just be in what you was just talking about. What is those screens? The screen, like when you on Zoom and you got, because I got a couple of them things that you could put in the background to make it look
like a green screen, but it's a false reality.
Right. Instead of you just like we are sitting in my kitchen, right? No, we could have a backdrop and looking like we on a tropical island, girl. We coming to y'all from the Bahamas. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
We is sitting in the kitchen, robe on, I'm cold. Just be real.
Yeah.
How we gonna get this money today? How we gonna sell some books today? Yeah. Like, be a real person. People want real. Now, don't get me wrong.
We like the glam.
We like the glam, but let's have a plan to get to the glam.
Like, I like that. Let's have a plan to get to the glam. See that little rhyming words be happening. See, it'll fall on you.
Come on now. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Everybody living into this puff screen.
The birds aren't
or just smoke screen. That's what I meant to say. Smoke was the puff.
Right.
The puff screen.
The puff screen.
I just like puffing the smoke. Yeah, the smoke screen. A reality.
That's a good question. The picture that you put out, when you go back, do you feel confident about the picture that you give of yourself? Is it true to you? Right? Is it true to you? And how hard is it to be real, right? It's so hard to be vulnerable.
It's hard to keep that up.
It's so hard to be vulnerable. Even in keeping it up. I guess it ain't hard to keep it up if it's all fake pictures, right?
Girl, no. I just came out of network marketing. So, girl, it's hard to keep up. I'm making 6 figures. I'm making this. I'm making that. And I'm over here topped out with 60-something thousand. Yeah. 6 figures weird, because when I got the call, I'm like, you got the wrong person. Y'all must have called the wrong person. I ain't make no 6 figures. They're like, oh no, yes you did. We talking about within the 2-year, 3-year span. Oh, you not meaning it. So it's like the illusion of it all. And then when you talk about network marketing, you talking about having a team. Money is made through people. You ain't making no. If you can make money just you, but at the end of the day, it's no different than. There's a difference, but you still making money through people.
Oh, yeah.
So whether you have a team, whether you doing it individually, you still ain't making money unless you have a service or product and you're exchanging something for money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I'm traveling in, and I damn sure be forgetting to take pictures sometimes, but that's the loot. You got to take those pictures to be like, yeah, we here, yeah, we there, because people want to be involved with people that's about something. You like you saying, like, show me something. Like, I ain't just following no regular Joe. You need to be popping. You need to be about it. And that shit gets exhausting depending on who you are. I can only speak for me. Because some people is about that life. And those are the people who's making good, big money. I'm not saying people ain't making money. Some people are. Yeah. But for the majority, no, they're not, because it's an endurance. Yeah. And so is being a business owner or entrepreneur. You gotta really have a strong mindset to keep in that. That's why people do have a job, because they feel it's a secure check every 2 weeks. As long as you show up, as long as I ain't get fired. Yeah. I can have a secure check every 2 weeks or every week, however often I pay. But when you're an entrepreneur, you get into anything like an independent contractor, anything, network marketing, any other way to make money. It's on you, Jack, for real, showing up to work every day for you, for real. If you ain't signing up nobody, if you ain't selling no service or product, you ain't making no money. Ain't no guaranteed nothing. So you gotta do. So most likely you're going to show something to make people say, oh, you provoking people to get your service or product by doing something.
Inspiring is the word.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So the question is, how are you doing that? And it's so unfortunate that the way of the world is shiny. Glitz and glamour. You got to show me this big ass house, because that's what I really, really want. You can't show me no damn regular house and I'm going to be like, yup, I want you. I'm coming with you. No, it ain't going to work.
And I think it goes back
that's so sad.
But that's what I'm saying. It goes back to the burnout, like you're saying, right? You burn out because if you start there, where you going? If I'm inspiring you to grow your life, to grow your experience, to grow your business, how in God's name, and that's what I'm saying, this microwavable society, because anybody in real business knows you don't wake up like that, right? This is the thing I keep on trying to share, even with the kids, because they have been used to microwave society. That's why I say even us as the leaders who are supposed to be passing them the baton are taking on the bad habits that bring false realities, right? Which is why people feel less than, because so many people pretending to be at their greatest, at their top, right? And so you're feeling like, well, everybody is doing good. Something is wrong with me. And so it is a lack of integrity to create an illusion that you are, like you said, what they want you to say, you 6 figures. So that means you're pulling somebody in. If that is not your reality, then you're setting them up to fail when they arrive, because it's not even real steps. So that is our responsibility to not allow people to change our integrity, right? So it's okay to be like, and then joke about it then. But I think that transparency is like listen, I'm in the house right now, but I don't feel like cleaning up, so I'm using this green screen. Have a reason for your reasons, right?
Just be real with your whole
Don't
thing.
do a magic trick with people, because then when the moment comes and it's time for everybody to see you at the same time, you get exposed. Now you lose all credibility. That part. Right? Because the people, let me tell you something, ain't nothing more than the people who hating on you in your circle that's waiting to say how much of a lie that is. And that's why you see the first time people arrive, everybody around them that has always been envious, or they want to tear you down. And now what do you have? You have nothing to stand on, because you have lied the whole time. And so you gave them ammo. So we give each other ammo by not being enough in who we are. So putting on the makeup on our face, putting the makeup on our soul, putting the makeup on our emotions, showing up with the green screen, with this perfect life, like everything's going good. That's why, you know, the videos that go the farthest, when people are emotional, when they are vulnerable, when they're telling their truth.
Because so many people is just like that, and they resonate with it.
Period. It's relating so the ship can move.
Be relatable.
And
How
all of that ain't relatable to the
that
average.
ain't even
They say
relatable,
rich people
that
is what
part.
percentage. So how are they fooling
Who
you
you talking to?
into being the 1%? That's not your audience. It's not
That's
the,
not
the
even
rich.
relatable.
To be honest, the rich person don't need you.
And the reason why you doing all that is so that somebody could come and make some money. If you come to make money, that means you must need it. It ain't because if you got money, then you ain't even trying to come
Let me
to
tell you
because you
something.
already got money.
Let me tell you
So
something.
you preying on the wrong people that now it ain't working because they ain't got the grit and grime and hustle that you know it takes.
Mhm.
And that's why they gotta give that little clause like everybody, it depends on you and you know this is the potential of earning income. Yeah, we know that a salary is between the salary is between 32,000 and 57,000. But the question is, how much you gonna make when you come through that door to get hired? Mm-hmm. And how long it's gonna take you to even get to the 57? Mm-hmm. You ain't even gonna get to that 57. Yeah. That's just a number they put as a range. Because you tapped out and you wondering why you staying at 35,000 when the range said to 57.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that 57 ain't never gonna be made by you. And you going up every year for a performance review. And look, Atwell's killing my damn self trying to get to work on time because I want to fit like no, because when it's time for a raise, I need to get closer to that 57.
And they giving you a quarter.
Knowing damn well you ain't getting there. Because here's your quarter.
Yeah,
it's the illusion. You like, I ain't nowhere near 57. What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that 57 ain't for you. You got a doctorate. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
But I mean, that's just it. And it's just so
killing me.
It's so hard because it's hurting. The reason why the darkness, the state of condition is because people are the shadow, right? That's the shadow. That's the shadow when the light is in contact with the darkness, right? And so the light can be in the room, but it could be far away. So it's a shadow now, right? Because it's creeping in the room. Like when the room is totally dark and there's a light in the hallway and you start to open up the door, you can see the light creeping in. Now, the majority of the room is still dark, but the light gets to creep in through the shadow. And so that's what we're talking about with that, the smoke and mirrors, the having the audacity to be confident about your real story, having the audacity to either tell the true story or no story, but to create a false reality puts the world in a state of turmoil because, like I said, now you're breeding people who feel less than because it appears that everybody else got it together. Like we said yesterday, I love that Misha pointed out of the time frame, right? I needed to be here at a certain age, right? That's a reality. Women, you should be married with kids at this point. That's a reality. Now, part of that reality is true because the body is just the body and we can't do nothing with the human body. So after a certain age, it becomes harder to do things when it comes to reproducing. So that's the only part of the reality. Right. It's a higher risk, but no, it's also harder. You're losing eggs. I mean, you ovulating, right? And you have way more eggs at 20 than you do at 40. So it's not even a risk because it's that risk, but it's really the reality that you may not have what you had 20 years ago as far as physically, right? But the reality tells us that everybody is bossed up. The reality that they are pointing, the picture, not the real content. We could use Ciara as an example, the singer Ciara. Her song about being bossed up and single, right? All of that stuff, that's an illusion, right? Because she is a married woman of what so many years of somebody who treats her like a princess and she don't know nothing about being single, bossed up, and by herself. That has not been her life for years. Actually, she went from one relationship to another relationship, So that singledom that they speak about is a false reality, right? Because the content, right? The content of the story is happily married woman with, I don't know if she got 2 or 3 kids. I think she had 2 with her husband and 1 with Future. So she may be a mom of 3. That's the reality. But that's not the picture that you would see, right? That's not the picture that sometimes we express because we want to know what everybody else is doing. But whatever happened to being one of a kind? Whatever happened to standing out, as Rondell Jr. would say, right? Mr. President. The point of being one of a kind is your standout ability. And we're so busy trying to look like our neighbor that the person that's in behind you, in alignment for you and what you have and waiting for the baton from you all the way over there in somebody else's lane trying to pretend to be somebody that you're not, just so people can respect a picture. But if they're respecting a picture, that's that false reality that make you feel like, what's the imposter syndrome they call it? So you feel like an imposter because you know they respect who they think you are, and you haven't come to grip with who you really are. And so internally you end up fighting with the reality you're putting out and the reality. So guess what? You're suffering in silence, which I say no more, sis, right? Doesn't mean women, queen, girl. It means no more suffering in silence. You're suffering in silence because you can't actually say this is what's going on because you have given up this false reality.
And you can't keep
so you can't get the help while you're trying to pretend.
While you keeping up the facade.
Yeah. And so I think that is,
you ain't fooling nobody but your damn
I think
self.
that is the most important part of when we're talking about being able to see, does your book cover match your content? Can you match it side by side, the good, the bad, the ugly? Because like I said, life is like school, right? Spirit imitates life. And so there are all so many different areas. And so embellish, talk about the one that you've mastered so you are credible. And then talk about the ones you are trying to master so that people can know that everybody's not put together because it's the ING. So I'm going somewhere. So I don't have to act like I'm here when that's where I'm trying to go, right?
Come with me on the journey and let's show them the journey of getting to the promise.
Right.
Get into the goal.
The goal. Yeah.
But come with me on the journey to the goal and be real with showing the journey, right? Yeah, we waiting on our bags. We sitting down waiting to board the plane. We ain't in first class. We in, regular seats.
We coach right now. Yeah.
Right. We coach.
We economy.
Like we sitting here eating lunch,
and it's enough. Let me explain to you.
Understand it is enough.
How energy goes and how you bring forth that stuff. When you don't feel gratitude, then you don't put out the energy of gratitude to come back to you. If every day you're pretending to be something that you're not, then where does that fullness of being enough come from, right? That's why as I choose me, hashtag no more excuses, because you were born enough. Every day that you wake up, right? Wake up and make today count is because God already counted it for you. He gave you another day because he's counted it all for the good, right? And so it's not about being in the place. It's about being organic and honest, authenticity, right? That's originality.
Yeah.
And so when I'm authentic and I'm in a good relationship with self, I stop trying to pretend to be somebody else because who I am is enough. And so if I don't have a mansion, I don't got to pretend to be the person that got a mansion because somebody is watching me. Somebody is seeing me. I am being a representation of the process, right? Yeah. And so I'm sitting here acting like it's all good. Then what does that say to the person who is learning from you? They are learning to be a liar. They are learning to embellish the story in order for the world to give them the glory. But what about God?
What about you lying to your damn self? I was gonna say, don't call Nakia. Do not call Nakia. Everybody would know. Don't call Nakia because she's gonna tell you what it is, and you'll be like, I just need the truth. So I just need to call you because what's going on? Because I ain't got time for all of that. This is what it is. That's what it is. Just keep doing what you're doing and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Don't get all caught up in the hype. Like, no, it's time out for that. It's possible. Just keep doing XYZ, da-da-da-da-da. At the end of the day, no, Nakia gonna start being the wrong person to call. The facade is up. Now, you can't do it.
You could say stuff like, listen,
I ain't gonna discourage nobody, but I'm gonna just keep it real and let you know what it is, and what you need to really do and be doing. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not. Right. Anything is possible. It's you.
And guess what will inspire them more than anything? You processing into the promise right before their eyes. That's why I say abracadabra, right? Become your magic, right? The magic is in the moments that you take and being real on what you speak life over yourself and the things that you do and the work that you put in and being okay with self. And so the magic is realizing that you hold the wine. You create the moments because it's your faith, it's your integrity, it's your freedom after insight to higher self. You have permission to go forward and be as great as you want to be, but it's all about how you see yourself first. And if you don't see yourself as being enough, if you don't realize that the picture may not be as beautiful as you think it should be, but guess what? I'm processing. I'm in the dark room. I'm going through the stages. I'm writing the book so that when you look at the image, it would be a compliment to the story, right? Yes. And that it wouldn't be, well, Lord, the picture looked like that, but when I open up that book, it's a hot mess up in there.
Every time you open that picture and you add something else to it, to a completion, to the end of a completion picture, but you got to bring them to you starting the picture. Drawing the picture. Oh, it wasn't a table there before. Oh, it's a vase on there now with a flower in it. Oh my God, that wasn't there before. You bring them into it as you processing through it to get to the complete picture. You don't start with the complete picture.
Yeah.
When you suffering in silence, they ain't even on the couch.
Yeah. But guess what's so cute about the picture though? In any picture, you ever took a picture or somebody took a picture of you and not even that it's going to be created, but that is just already there, right? And then you look back at the picture. And as I was saying before, when you look at a photograph, depending on the person that's looking, there are different things that they will notice in your photograph. Right. And so the more realistic you are in the photo you taking, the more of the people that were assigned to you will you draw in. You draw in a person that want the big house, and that's not your reality. Eventually that will get exhausting pretending, right? Pretending is hard. But if your picture is, oh man, this is a moment when I was just getting there, and you got this picture and it's like, oh, there's a tree back there. Oh, but did you see the dog? But oh, did you see the fire hose? Did you see the little kids playing in the background? Did you, when you look at the picture that you take a full thing, you will notice so many things, and the person that's looking is going to notice the thing that drives them. That's why your reality will create movement for you, right? Because in my reality, I'm drawing in the people who belong to my story, who are attached to the picture, the true picture, the authentic picture, because then I don't have to pretend. It'll come like magic. So when I speak about the things that I speak about, it flows like water because it is in me. It's not on me, right? And so the things that are on you, you got to look to see. Like sometimes somebody say, what's your shirt saying? I got to be like, wait, what does this one say? I got to look down at it because it's outside of me. But when it's inside of me, I don't got to look down. I got to look within myself to be like, this is what it is. And this is how it goes. And so you definitely have to allow people to take their own inventory so that they know where to ask you for, because you have been organic in your reality. And then you're drawing in the right people, the people that have the right heart, that it won't be draining. And then you can grow together. Because like I said, I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we together. But if I'm creating a force reality, then what kind of force can I really be? Because when I really get the mansion, I'm going to be way more excited than they think I should, because you already been in the mansion. Why are you so excited? You didn't have a mansion for 10 years in the pictures. You don't even, so you can't even really go through the real organic emotion because you've been pretending with a picture. A simple picture. So I mean, that's why I want y'all to really ask yourself. I see everybody's a little bit quiet today, but it's like, ask yourself, truth. Do I feel like the picture that I am showing, portraying, bringing about is my reality? Is it my reality? And if I'm creating this picture, listen, and I have control over me, then what's stopping me from making sure my reality matches the picture if I know the blueprint, right? Because God said if you can write the vision and make it plain, you can have it. The belief in between the picture and what you're creating is why you're lying. Because a part of you don't think that you can get it, so you portray it to make you look better than somebody else, because that is that piece of a gratification and that validation that we need, right? And so because we're so busy looking for outside validation, we miss the revelation. And the revelation is that it's within, right? So if I'm looking for you to validate me, I can't go through the revelation of myself. I can't process. And so it's like listening to it's like, wow. And so when you look at the turmoil that the world is in, is because that so many people are making the life look impossible, or making people feel like they're missing something. And yeah, there is a group of people who, have moments and become millionaires and all these different things, and life happens and they go viral in this new day and time. All of that is true, but it's not everybody. Most of the bodies are sitting back trying to figure out how, right? Which area of my life am I working on now? And the how, right? How do I do it? What do I do next, right? So
that part right there.
It is hard, but I think a lot of us, suffer from that at some point, because, I don't want you to know that this going on, and I don't want you to know that this going on. And it is safe for you to be conscious, but don't lie.
Yeah,
I'd rather you say nothing than to create a lie that then adds to the idea that people are not enough. And now we have these false realities. We're going to have the shootings. We got, relationships struggling when they don't have to, where more people can walk instead of run. It's so many different things that can take place when people actually live in the reality and start sharing real stories. Like real stories, not fake stories.
Reality shows, a show and tell you, honey, you be thinking, because they so-and-so, they got it all together, or they so-and-so. But when they get the being real, and you see how they be like, ooh.
You be like, ooh, they rich, but ooh, they messy. Ooh, they rich, but ooh, they still catty. Ooh, they nothing changed.
People let you really into their world and into their life. It starts to unfold to see the real.
The real. The part that was covering up.
That's just like not normal. It's not normal. But real. Like ain't no fantasy land. We perfect. No, we ain't.
No, we ain't. Nobody is perfect. What was perfect is what you're becoming, that God piece, right? So the bodies, the flesh is imperfect, and everything we do is getting us to a perfect peace, which is a perfect, remember the peace, P-E-A-C-E. Everything you go through, those imperfect things, is getting you, turning you, molding you into a perfect peace. Now, the perfect peace is the God peace. That's the P-I-E-C-E. But what you become in your mindset is perfect peace, which is P-E-A-C-E.
And that's the part.
So from identifying your peace, you bring peace, because then I stop pretending. And when I become enough right where I am, God will multiply, because that's what gratitude looks like. Because if God sees you pretending, that means he knows you're not grateful for where you are. And you don't really know what it cost you. You don't know what it took for you to get there. And so you're sitting there looking at somebody else's process instead of the promise that's attached to your process. And if you would just be honest with your process, you would heal so many more people, than more people get destroyed by your lies than get healed by your truth, right? Because we're not speaking our truth. Because the minute you speak your truth, you become vulnerable, and then somebody sees themselves in you, and then guess what? You just lit up a room, and somebody else found their switch.
You changed lives
because you were authentic and organic.
Enough. And you are enough to help change somebody else's life in your authenticity.
That's why I love to tell the story of when I wrote my children's book and how distraught I was, because I didn't think I could do it, right? I just felt like I just couldn't do it. I did my first project by myself, but that was snail mail. And me and the digital, and the internet, I wasn't comfortable with that, right? And so I was willing to give my piece away for a piece. But then I had a husband that was like, girl, You're going to get it together. You're going to figure it out. And God sent a ram in the bush to show you how to figure it out, right? And so now when we look at it, it's like, I had to be honest. I had to say, I didn't know how to do it. Now, look, me and Melissa got together. You know how big of a project, it's a new project. It was something different. I ain't never had colors. Oh, this is the black and white. I ain't never had colors in the book. Like, right now I want to redo everything, right? But guess what? It was because we were real with our reality. I don't know how to do it, but I want to control it. I want to be able to do it for myself. I'm the type of person that, listen, you teach a man to fish and he will eat forever. You give a man a fish and he'll eat for that day. Empowerment and doing all that is allowing people to know how to fish for themselves, because I expect to go where I want to go, and I don't want people to be relying on me to be, because God just introduced me to you so that you can be for yourself, because it cost me. I had to learn. We have to do it. And so life is about realizing that this is the picture. Mm-hmm. And no matter where you are in the picture, it matters, because somebody needs to hear your truth. So like when Melissa gave her testimony the other day, it was powerful. Why? Because how many people needed to hear that? How many people were suffering through that moment but didn't have the voice to say it? Well, guess what? God said, will there be one? If there will be one honest person in the world, we can make sure that the content matches the picture, because you are proud of who you are today. But when you change your picture and it's not who you are, you give a false illusion to the world and even to yourself. And so you stop trusting yourself, because then you get wrapped up in what's valuable, and what you have doesn't give you value. Who you are is the only thing that gives you value. So trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with this one and that one, trying to pretend to be who you're not, is what destroys our confidence. It stops us from having the faith that that dream, the picture that you got on your vision board, you can have, right? And so it's write the vision and make it plain. So I'm not saying don't have a dream for tomorrow. I'm saying talk through your dream. Be real with yourself, and especially the people that you are inspiring, because somebody's always looking at you.
Always watching you.
And if it's not your reality, you can't really tell them how to get there, and so they're looking at the wrong person. Yeah. Now, if you're learning as you're growing and you're being honest about that, then that's a different story. But if you're pretending to be something that you're not, then what happens is, in the process, people will find out that the content of your character doesn't match the picture that you show them. That's a disruption. And it disrupts people's faith. It disrupts their belief system. It disrupts who they think they can be, because God said, I put you in a room with them so they can see who they can be. And you just made it impossible for them. You made it impossible for them to, right.
Imposter.
So imposter means I'm a poster. Right? Imposter. I'm a poster. So what is the poster that you're trying to create? What is the illusion that you have up in people's face? That's not true. Yeah. So be the poster child for faith. Tell them this is what I want. Be clear, because then we'll drive more people into love and like and really
confidence with themselves. Process to the completion.
My God.
Of the goal.
Amen to that, people.
Come on now.
Hey, Queen. Hey, Tom. God, I gotta see y'all.
Child, yes.
That's another one of my boos.
Ty.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I mean, that's the point. The point is, at the end of the day, we have a responsibility to ourselves. Mm-hmm. But bigger than that, you have a responsibility to the person who is assigned to you. And when they cross your page and they come into the room with a conversation with you, right? And you have the opportunity to realize that it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. And when we really are okay with who we are, then we don't care what it looks like, because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And the only way I can change, destroy, enhance anything is by taking ownership. And until I own my stuff, I can't give it away. I can't throw it away. I can't destroy it, right? Because then that would be taking somebody else's property. There's a problem. So it's saying, you know what? I got to stop creating this false picture.
Right. You can't live.
I have to be real because my realness determines how other people see me and how they'll see themselves. So the more transparent I can be in my delivery of my process, the more people will see themselves in the process too, because they know it is work. Themselves, not somebody else. Themselves and who they are. So as long as it's your truth, guess what? It can serve everybody. But when it's a lie, it confuses everybody. Absolutely. And we lose precious lives that way. Because then we have, like I said, people not feeling enough, people wanting to destroy other things that seem to get the attention that they don't. All of that because they are feeling incapable of living a life of their dreams because they feel like they're losing. And they're losing because they don't see the reality. The reality of it is definitely a ripple effect. Absolutely a ripple effect. Definitely. Because as we say, it's a relay race and somebody is relying on you. And so until you take heed, their heart will continue to bleed. Right? You can heal the woman with the issue of blood with your words. Because it's the spirit right now that is going through, right? It's spiritual warfare, as we say. And so the war is going on because people haven't built up their spirit because they're so busy looking at stuff that has no value. The what? The things that you have that you cannot take with you. What you leave behind is that soul print. Is that conversation. Is the integrity. And the time you spend with them and the memories you create while you out here doing all of this. Leaving family behind and spending less time with family. Time you can't get back. Cannot get back. Chasing this faith, this non-reality. To God be the glory, because guess what? We're going to make sure that our content matches the picture of our story, okay? And it changes. You know how many books I got so far? I got 6 books. That means the cover keep on changing. The cover is going to keep on changing. It's not going to remain the same. Cover, honey. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to remain the same, but you get to decide what your cover looks like. You get to create. It's like reverse engineering, right? This is the picture I want. So now I have to reverse engineer how I get there. How to get there. Period. So we have no problem with the picture, but you got to believe that is yours. You got to believe it to receive it. And being real and authentic till you get to that. Till you get to that moment. Part right there. Right. Because we don't got to pretend for them. Why? We're enough. We were born enough. And we will also what you're doing is enough. For the ride is enough. What you have is enough. All of that good stuff. I think today we definitely going to read a little something out of this thing. So we'll open the book to something and then we're going to pull a card. We are past the hour already. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Stress. Whoa. The word of the day is stress, right? And I guess it is stressful to pretend to be somebody that you're not, just to feel validated enough to go on, right? Isn't that got to be a stressful thing to know that I have to put up this facade, stress, right? For people to see me, trust me, and love me. Oh my God! So stress says, "Praise the Lord, my soul, all my inmost being, praise His holy name. Praise the Lord, my soul, and forget not all His benefits, who forgives all your sins and heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit and crowns you with love and compassion, who satisfies your desire with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles." Psalms 103, 1-5. Commit your actions to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Proverbs 16:30. You heard that? Commit your actions to the Lord. He didn't say commit your plans to the Lord. Good God Almighty. That's a word right there. He said commit your action, faith, freedom after insight to higher self. He don't care about. He said when you commit your actions to the Lord, meaning I see you moving in the direction of your desires, and your plans will succeed. So when you get in action, the plan that you have will come to pass because faith is moving. It's the works you do after you get the picture. It is the reverse engineering of your dream. Look at there. The Lord also will be a refuge in times of trouble. Psalms 9:9. It says, wise God, can I sit a while at your feet and rest? I like the sense of importance busyness gives me. I feel necessary, purposeful, and capable, but I've taken on so much. I'm not sure I am capable, and my purpose has gotten a little unclear. Grant me perspective, explanation point. I need to take time to replenish. Remind me I am important because you love me, not because of how much I get done. Good God Almighty. He says, grant me perspective. I need to take time to replenish. We can't make this up. That's where God put us on today. He said, remind me I am important because you love me. Like we said, if you got breath, today counts. Not because of how much I get done. He don't care how big your house is. He don't care how many cars you got. He don't care where you went. He don't care what outfit you got on. He don't care if they red bottoms or black bottoms. All he cares is that you know he loves you and he needs you to get your soul right, your spirit right, your truth right, because that is authentic. Because somebody needs to see you. Oh my God.
Come on now.
So it says, when the last time were you able, when was the last time you were able to let go of stress and just sit with God? Good God Almighty, y'all. I can't make this up. What page number is this?
P-E-A-C-E. Peace.
Yeah. That's sole purpose right
don't
there.
miss it. I'm at peace.
I'm at peace.
I'm at P-E-A-C-E.
So the message of today is you're stressing over false realities.
Wow.
When the reality God already gave you is enough. But he said that when you love, when you know that I love you, you know that you're enough. You were born enough. And you have exactly what you need for today. And somebody needs you. They need your truth. Because being holy is being organically true through and through, whatever that looks like, because you can't hide from God. So stop pretending for them and start mending the things that's going to make you be who God called you to be, so you don't no longer be a pretentious thing. You won't no longer be an imposter. I'm not a poster child. I am a child of God, right? So this ain't no poster. This is the real thing. This is a movie. This is reality. And so make your reality count, babies. Make your reality count.
Be enough, because it is.
My
Rest
God.
in it being enough. Keep saying to yourself, what I am and what I have is enough.
That part. So we're going to get y'all cards and we're going to get y'all out of here. But let me tell you, this was a good conversation. And I hope that you think today to yourself, what is the picture that I have for myself? What do I have to do to actually create the picture that may not have been created? Because if it's a new picture, it's a new part of your life you're trying to develop, right? So we're always developing something new within ourselves, right? That's what waking up and making today count means. It means I'm getting an action for my attraction. Because remember what it wrote in here. He want to see your action for the plans, right? So you got to be about God's business. And to be about God's business is to be in the ING and being organic and authentic in your movement, because he knows that you are assigned to somebody. He's like, listen, they need what you got. Until you believe they need what you got, it doesn't even matter. You're looking at them, but they're looking at you. Who are you? Operate in you, work on you, and them wouldn't matter no more. Because then you would be the face of who's assigned to you. So don't do what they doing. Do what you doing. Because somebody needs you, because they already exist. So I don't need to do what they doing. You already got that pegged out. Let me do what I'm doing so that I can reach the people that are assigned to my story. And that's what makes it all amazing. Melissa says, what a beautiful reading. I relate to this all the way, right? Don't we all? I know I was late to the show today, but the half I caught was powerful. Oh, I'm so glad. So let's pull this card, y'all.
Honey. Powerful message.
Let's pull this card. Books are in. Whatever is your mustard seed. If you ain't got yours ordered today, what are you waiting for? Your life, you owe it to yourself to get your F right. Okay? Get your F right.
Get your F
Get your F right. Okay, what we getting, boo? Okay, this is mine. This is mine. Here we go.
Ready?
2, 3. I am divine and I am tenacious. Oh man, to be tenacious is to be, listen, to be about. It's like being unstoppable. Keeping up the work ethic and the worth ethic. That's what tenacity takes, right? It takes you knowing without a shadow of doubt who you were called to be. That's my thing. There's a lot of songs in here, huh? So we are tenacious, and we just had this card. Divine, was that yesterday or the day before? So God wants to remind you again that you are divine. So it's no reason to not feel worthy enough for your assignment. So you don't have to create a false picture. Your content is enough. Who you are is enough. Where you're going is what makes where you are today so much enough. And if we ever just sat back and looked at all the divine things that we did that got us to this place and this space in our life, we wouldn't feel unworthy at all. We would understand, as we said yesterday, that we were worth the yes, that we were worth everything we desire, because it all starts and ends with you. And how you feel about you is what they're going to see. When you're proud of you, they'll see that too. You are the blueprint.
You are the light.
You are
Shine your light. Be confident with being enough.
So I wanted to give y'all the exact definitions, because you know the game comes with the exact definition. So tenacious, persistent in existence, not easily dispelled, unwilling to yield or give up.
Come on now.
So in your pursuit of happiness, you have to be tenacious. And in the picture that you created, be tenacious and developing as much as you want people to believe is already developed. And you could say, I'm in my development stage, but this is where I'm going. That is okay, because then they'll live and see you get to that place, and then they'll believe that they too can do it, because you are but an example. You're but an example. And divine, to be clear, is excellent and delightful. So be excellent and delightful in your unwillingness to give up.
Come on.
We love you, love you, love you. That was so good.
This was
so
great
good.
Episode.
It was a great episode. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. As you see, Queen Kia has put in all the ways you can purchase the book. You are so welcome, Nancy. Y'all over there quiet. So I guess we was talking to y'all today, but I guess it was one of those topics where it's like you just gotta sit and I guess eat it up and then ask yourself your why. You know, your why is why heaven yelled. Right? That's your why. And why heaven yelled is because of you. That's why he's yelling, because you have a job to do. And so they're like, hey, I need you down there to do what you came to do.
What's your assignment?
He said, your will on earth as it is in heaven. So what did you come to do?
We ain't ready for you yet back up here. So you finish your assignment.
You ain't come to be like
you
them.
Finish your assignment. Let's get going. Get into action.
You came to be like you. So guess what? You got to be like you. They are already taken. What you gonna do with you?
That part. You can't be like nobody else but you.
That part.
Uniquely you. You got your own fingerprints. Stop studying this. Worry about your own.
Worry about your own fossil. So, as often as we can say it, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness, because it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to realize that you make the difference. And we come here not to compete. Come on now. My picture don't got to look like your picture. We came to complete And the difference between them two words is a L. And the L stands for love. And love grows everything. So make it your responsibility to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. So don't forget to be tenacious in everything you do, because you were created divine. That means divinity dwells in you. And so if God gave you a piece that's one of a kind, who are you to omit the design? Do the work to complete your assignment, because that is what getting in alignment is all about. It's about becoming the dream that God had for you. So them inside thoughts is God's voice telling you who and all you can be. And so believe it, commit to it, and then be honest as you are transforming into the thing that makes you great. I mean, we love you, love you, love you. We're so glad that you came to spend your morning with us. I hope this conversation and coffee and conversations has been delightful, and that we served you at any level. And we definitely, definitely, definitely love you. So like, share, tell a friend, comment, let us know what picture it is that you are recreating at this time, because you started to ask yourself, who am I really? What do I really want to leave? And what do I want my story to be? Do I want it to be about what I had or what I did? Ask yourself, do I want my story to be? I've never been to a funeral where people sat around and said, you know what? He had 5 houses and 3 cars. I have never heard them say that at the funeral. So the question is, what will they say about you? They will say what you did and not what you had. So if you're not working on your doing, then what you have doesn't even matter, because you can't take it with you. So love yourself to full so that you can overflow and make the difference in somebody else's life, because you realize that you were born enough. Anything you want to add before we go, boo?
Flip them switches.
Flip them switches.
So people can find their light.
That part.
Yes.
Well, we love you.
It's been a pleasure. We love you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Conversations. Don't forget to wake up and make today count.
Love you guys.
Love grows
Can't wait
everything.
to see y'all in
Tomorrow, because it's
Friday.
Friday, so it's hot topics. So God knows what the hot topics will be.
And if there's any topic or something y'all want to talk about, put it in the comments. We still go back and, read comments from people watching the replay and stuff like that. So put some topics or things y'all would like to discuss.
And bring it to the coffee table.
Yeah. So we can have some coffee and conversations around
that part.
So we should see y'all in the morning.
In the AM. Have a good night or a good day. Mwah. Bye-bye. Good morning to you.